across the sands, from the South Indian, from the East African, northeast of the mountains of Africa, and became the Sumerian and Dravidian. Why? Where are they now? Yeah, Caribbean of a dialect, lingua cross-cultural surround. Where are they now? Where are they now? Treasure chests from antiquity, personal articles of emperors and empresses that them found in man land of nativity. Where are they now? Where are they now? First of bloodline of kin, kinsman of man nativity. Where are they now? Bright nose it in a sameness, lion eye of shapeness, lioness of fierceness. Where are they now? Where are they now? Grand last in the exhibition, yeah, in a Belfast and Berlin and Switzerland, yeah, and Oslo and Norway, I call Norwegian. Where are they now? Where are they now? Where are they now? According to the ancient scripture, Moses committed an atrocity. Oh, where are they now? Slew a man for bad treatment that he saw committed upon a fellow human, God conception. Where are they now? Locked away in the dungeons of Babylon, and none say reviewed their cases from redeemed with justice. Where are they now? Where are they now? Where are they now? They are the bloodlines of queens upon the imperial crest of ancient families. African identity. Where are they now? Europa and Circe, Andromeda. Where are Persian, Ethiopian captive men, and where are they now? Where are they now? Boy, without the guidance from the youth, it was the errors of childhood. Where are they now? Bearing fruit anointed upon the crest of ancient families. Where are they now? Who are their offspring? Who are their ancestors? How have they matriculated and articulated into modern contemporary policies? Where are they now? Where are they now? Why? It was they who were tightening it together in at the bottom across the ocean upon their journeys. Where are they now? Those who swore
definitely giving thanks for the life given, the keeper of life, talking about ancient maps.
The families were overboard. 2 and 3 and 2 and 5 and 4 and 20.
Proud might of the Holy Trinity and for Haile Selassie first. With great joy, we welcome you into the Tiger's Nest. This is another edition of the Shock of the Hour. Yes, it is. Of course, a wonderful evening as always. From the moment we have, the opportunity to come together, we definitely label it as a wonderful evening. Hey, what does the psalmist say? This is the day that Farai has made. So it's time to rejoice. It's time to sing and dance and praise the name of the ever-living I. Nigasai, Selassie, Jah Rastafari. Give thanks again for your presence with us. The Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. The Shock of the Hour, full effect. Where are they now? That is from the Scheme of Things album. Who are they now? And that is exactly what we will be speaking of tonight. Yeah, reincarnation. The reality of reincarnation. Oh yeah. I think it's a subject that needs to be touched. You know what I mean? I think that I have touched it, many times. But let us see if we could embrace it now on a different level. Yeah. Again, this is the program, The Mystic Vibrations, a Shock of the Hour that comes to you every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, approximately at this time. And of course, you know that if you are a subscriber to this program, you definitely get a copy of the recorded version of the program, which will be emailed to you. You get it in your inbox the evening after it is recorded, or at least by the morning. Of course, the Shock of the Hour is a program that takes you to another level. We're talking about information and inspiration. We're talking of different aspects of life and the soul and the spirit and thought and just knowledge and information. Afrocentricity, of course, and science. Yeah, man, we touch it. Domestic affairs, exactly what is taking place in your society, your community, and why the neighbors are now moved out of the neighborhood and now it's just a hood and you call it a ghetto. Hey, we touch everything that has to do with life, whether it's tattoos or the bleaching of the skin. Once it's a subject area of importance, you know what I mean? Yeah. Once it has to do with our people, you know what I mean? Like the other day, we did the program directly dealing with the Mecca and where Mecca really is. One of our brothers said, my brother, I never expected even to hear you talk about anything on that level. I say, why not? Because, that doesn't have anything to do with Rastafari. I said, my brother, we got to think a little broader than this. We got to think, especially if you are Rastafari. Number one, Rastafari is life, brother. So once it's life, man, we got to get out of this box that they have really put us in. I don't even think this is a box. This is more like I don't even know, man, a jar or something that has one of them screw-on lids. You know what I mean? This is serious that we've become so dogmatic in thought. Man, I know some conscious people that trying to separate themselves from the ancient Kemetic thoughts and say that is devil worship. I said, where did you get that mix up now? I thought you said you're not a Christian anymore. You know what I mean? No disrespect to a Christian, but the reality is that's a Christian mind frame. Now, yes, I do know a few Christians that don't think like that. And I mean enough respect to them. But yet, in the same light, that's them. But that's not Christianity. That's you. So if you are a Christian, but you believe there's nothing wrong with the Kemetic science, okay, enough respect to you on that. But that's you. You have crawled out of the box or jumped out of the jar personally. But the foundation of your organization, unless you start your own, unless you have started your own, and even if you did, the foundation of even that organization, the one you sprung off of, is that Egypt is wickedness and evil. In fact, not just Egypt. Africa is wickedness. You know what I mean? Because if you check the vibes in them, they have some empty-headed people. As people referring to me as voodoo this and obu this. No, I said, no, tell me. I mean, exactly what people are trying to say. You could see the ignorance in people when they make these statements here. You know what I mean? You could see the fact that these people are not studied in the way of truth to make a statement to start to think that they're gaining points by disrespecting their ancient African tradition. Voodoo. Franz Fanon has already explained that to us, what a holy tradition, wherein even just the thought of your mind, being corrupted, you yourself in your holy, persona, eventually comes around to correct your own self. Even to chastise yourself for the wrong things that you thought of in your mind. Voodoo I'm talking about, Obeya I'm talking about. It is sad sometimes to see that our people have been so dumbed down and brain scrubbed to the point that they think they're getting points for dissing themselves, talking about self-hatred. Oh, come on, man. Yeah. I mean, you expect that from, the brain scrub, for real. Anybody that talking, so I don't care who you are. You think you're making points and you're trying to disrespect someone and linking it with voodoo. Remember we did a program on the voodoo chicken from Popeyes? Check it out. And you think you're dissing voodoo. And you think you're dissing the ancient African Yoruba tradition. And you're dissing the Orisha and feel you're gaining points because the slave master is saying, oh, go ahead, Jimmy boy, you're doing good. Give me a break, brother. Yeah. So this is where we are. That's why I am here. Straight up, what we talking about tonight? Reincarnation. And that's the power with reincarnation. When you know who you are, nobody can play with you. One of the things Idi Amin said, he said he know exactly when he's going to die. Exactly what hour, what day, the time, and he knows exactly how. And this is why he's not coward. This is why he's afraid of no one. That's what he says. Because he knows when he's going to die. But honestly, even if he didn't know that, I still don't think he would have been a coward. But I'm just, going off of his script. The point is, when you know who you are, when you really know who you are, and you're somebody, good, sensible, worth being, nobody can play with you. Nobody can play with you. This is not the platform for me to come and teach this specific thing as far as, who I am. But I know exactly who I am by name. And not no one person. I could give you a list of people from the past. I can even, man, I ain't going that far with you. But let me leave it at this. I can go in the past and put people on the table and say, that's me, and that's me. Yeah. And the same way you see me sit down and, break things down and decode the mysteries as it relates to other things, in the same way I could do it as it relates to that. Anybody that's paying attention, I already showed you how I came to the knowledge of exactly which star I'm connected to. And of course, the narrative that I gave you is undeniable. So it's mathematics, and it's science, and it's facts. So as far as reincarnation, it's not just about coming again and all of that. It's the movements of your spirit and your soul through the physical being, through the flesh, through the so-called body. Now, what we're going to do this evening, and by the way, if you want to subscribe to this program here, all you have to do is to email us, PRIEST, priestisaac27 at gmail.com, priestisaac27 at gmail.com, and say, Honorable Priest, I would like to be a subscriber to the Shock of the Hour nightly radio program, so I could get it every evening or at least by the morning in my email, and so I could save it in my archives. I would be extremely happy for that. You get what's going on here. And let me just remind you again, remember, tomorrow evening we will be officially launching the Priest Isaac's African History Month essay competition, at least in cyberspace. That will be right on our YouTube channel. You just, all you have to do is YouTube, Priest Isaac, there I am, and right on our channel at 8 p.m. sharp, we will begin live broadcast, to the international community as it relates to the essay competition, the season of which we are already into. All right, so what we're going to do as it relates to this subject area, let me see. Yeah, as usual, I always find it necessary to share information with the audience, from a different angle. You see me? Yeah. And what I'm going to do tonight is to go through some information from a documentary, Science of the Soul. And this little snippet of it, because it's about almost 1.5 hours long, is going to deal directly with a young boy who, because of his behavior and certain signs, made those around him and himself connect himself with someone from the past. As they would say, the evidence is, what do you say, compelling. And I would say for sure, it's something to meditate on. But let me be clear that even the information you're going to get here from what they're going to be saying in this documentary, which is some good stuff, I'm trying to show you that even within your own life, I am sure you had more signs than him that has come to you. But the thing is, sometimes we're not able to read the signs. Sometimes they pass us by and we just don't pick it up. And you see, signs are given to you every day, every moment, non-stop. That's why sometimes you may say something and then you see it pass maybe on the side of a delivery van. You understand? I say, wow, I just mentioned it and look it there. That's a simple way for that to happen. In fact, now watch this. Sometimes I personally would be conversing with someone and they say something and it passes on the side of the delivery van, but they don't see it. Remember, I didn't say it. They said it. And they don't see it. And I say, hey, but look, brother, look, you just said it and it's passing. And they say, wow, you see what I mean? You see what I mean? You check what I'm saying. But listen to this. They didn't notice it. Now, maybe if I wasn't there, they wouldn't pick it up. I'm saying that these things happen to us all the time. And the 1 out of the 100th times that you pick it up, you've missed 99. And these are signs that tell you who you are, where you're from, your work on earth. Who are they now? Where are they now? Yeah, let's follow.
A Louisiana boy offers incredible evidence that should satisfy both sides of the soul debate. His case offers proof that the soul is real, that it can be reincarnated, and that science can study it. According to a 2007 Pew Research Center poll, 81% of Americans say they believe in an afterlife. 45% believe in ghosts.
I personally had an experience where I saw the spirit of my grandfather after he died. And I haven't gone to the place where I believe it was true. And yet it felt true to me. It felt real to me. And I am very sympathetic with those feelings that people have. They see the ghosts or the spirits of people they've lost. They have a traumatic physical experience and they see things. And I actually think that soul is more a matter of faith than proof.
Today, scientists are studying people who make a compelling case that they used to be someone else. At the University of Virginia, a group of psychiatrists use science to unlock the secrets of reincarnation. Since the 1960s, the Division of Perceptual Studies has been collecting cases of children who claim past life memories. They now have files on 2,500 children.
Well, I think what the research shows is that for people who are open to considering the possibility that there is evidence that consciousness at times can exist separately from a functioning brain. So in the cases of these children's reports, if you look at the best cases, they provide evidence that at times there can be this carryover of memories and emotions that seem carried over from one life and then continue on in another.
May 2000, Lafayette, Louisiana. A mother awakens to hear the screams of her 2-year-old son.
He was laying on his back, and he was kicking his feet up like this and pounding his fists like this, just kicking and screaming at the top of his lungs.
Andrea Leininger cannot soothe her baby James. Eventually, he falls back to sleep. She thinks the nightmare is over, but really, it is just beginning.
Then the next night he had another one. It was the exact same thing, the same exact kicking motion. And the more he had it, the more bizarre it became because it was so specific and so repetitive.
This marked the start of one of the best documented cases of possible reincarnation in history. Today, James Leininger is 12.
I play sports, baseball, soccer, go to Ascension Episcopal School. I have a lot of friends there. The other kids, when they were younger, say, I want to be a fireman. I want to be an astronaut. But I was always, I want to be a fighter pilot. I want to be in the Marines. Oh, you got your school pictures? Yeah. Well, they came out nice.
From the age of 3, James's parents began to hear stories from their son that shocked them. That their son was recalling things that connected him to a Navy pilot who died in 1945. They were skeptical. Bruce is an HR manager in the oil industry. Andrea is a former ballerina turned instructor. As Christians, they never believed in reincarnation, but they began to piece together an amazing story. The first clue came from the terrifying, non-stop nightmares that James began having at the age of 2.
He was saying, airplane crash on fire, little man can't get out. Airplane crash on fire, little man can't get out. That's why I was like, oh my God, is that what he's been dreaming this entire time?
What he was saying wasn't registering as much on me as what he was doing. He was flailing around in bed. And I remember the very specific thought I had at that point. This looks like The Exorcist. He was freaking out. I had this thought, he possessed. What is going on?
Within a year, the visions that greeted James in his nightmares began taking shape when he was wide awake.
I was reading to James, and then he sat up and he goes, Mama, the little man's going like this. And he laid down, and he goes, and he did the same thing he did in his dream. He's kicking his feet up, and he goes, little man's going like this. Ooh, 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 can't get out, can't get out. And I sat him back up, and I said, who's the little man? And he goes, me. It still makes my hair stand up. And Bruce said, what happened to your plane? He said, it crashed on fire. And he said, why did your airplane crash? And he said, it got shot. And Bruce said, who shot your plane? And he went, the Japanese!
James then gave his parents the next uncanny clue, one that was very specific. The name of a ship from which he says his aircraft took off.
So I said, well, did your boat have a name? And he said, Natoma. And I'd never heard the word before. And I went down the hall and got onto the computer and Googled it. And down around hit 300, all there was this thing, Natoma Bay CVE 62. Clicked on it, and up comes this history of a World War II aircraft carrier. And so that was the beginning of what the heck is going on here.
Standing there staring at this picture of this little, it was like an aerial photo of this little aircraft carrier in the water. Stood there staring at it for a long time.
I had no answers. How could he know this? How could he know a person? How could he know a ship? And what did all this mean? So that was where I really just said, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know what I'm going to find, but I'm not going to stop looking until I get as many answers as I can get.
This was enough to send Bruce on an investigation, doing his own research. Over the next 2 years, he learned about the men from the Natoma Bay, both living and dead. And James kept giving his parents additional, tantalizing, eerie clues.
Well, I kept asking him, do you remember what your name was? Do you remember what your name was? And he always said James. And I thought, well, he's 2, he's confused. He thinks I'm asking him what his name is.
Then James started drawing.
That was one of my mission things.
Mission thing, remember that?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite ones.
The same thing, over and over. Like a movie, compressed all into one frame. An air battle. Flak. A plane on fire. And his signature, James 3.
So one day I was in the kitchen, I was washing dishes, James had breakfast, and he had an airplane, he was just flying around like this. He goes, Mama, before I was born, I was a pilot, and my airplane got shot in the engine and crashed in the water, and that's how I died. And I was just froze. It was such a bizarre thing to say, but it was just that matter of fact. There was no drama, there was no emotion to it.
At 3, James started pretending to be a pilot, with an attention to detail that astonished his father.
One day he dragged a car seat into the closet in my office, and he set up a little cockpit in there.
Listen.
He had a little play school console, and it was going to be a cockpit, and he's going back and forth. All of a sudden, the door comes flying open, and he comes rolling out of it. I said, James, what happened to you? He says, I said, did you fall? He says, no. He says, my plane got shot, and I bailed out.
The next breakthrough came when Bruce was invited to the Natoma Bay Veterans Reunion. He asked about the names of men killed in battle, and this led him to finally solving the mystery of James 3.
Let's follow
He
up.
called me on the phone and he said, you won't believe this, there's only one guy from Natoma Bay who was killed during the battle for Iwo Jima, and his name was James M. Houston Jr. And I said, wait, that would make our James 3. I was so excited. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, that's him. It's James M. Houston. His name is James 3.
James Houston Jr., World War II Navy pilot. At age 21, on March 3, 1945, his plane was shot down over Chichijima. Now, the skeptical parents were sitting on compelling proof that their little boy really was reincarnated. Louisiana boy James Leininger spent his childhood recounting memories of being a World War II Navy pilot. Memories of a past life his parents could no longer ignore. From the age of 2 to 6, James continued to provide pieces of evidence of the incredible possibility that he was James Houston, reincarnated.
This plane, the Wildcat, is the plane that James M. Houston crashed in. And he was a test pilot for Corsair. And he would test fly those off of carriers. The F-18 is the plane I want to fly when I grow up.
Since he was 2, James showed an unusual fascination for military air shows and an uncanny familiarity with vintage aircraft. His parents cautiously made contact with James Houston's only surviving relative, his sister, Anne. At first, she didn't know what to think about the little boy who claimed to be her brother, reincarnated. But then, James asked her for a painting that only one person other than her knew existed.
She sent this January 16th, 2006. Says, Dear James, I do hope that this is the picture you asked for. It is the only one of me done by my mother. I am sorry to be so long sending it to you. These past few weeks have been very busy and hectic. I hope you like it. With my love, Annie.
James believed then, as he does now, that it was the dead pilot's soul asking for that picture.
I had asked her for a painting that my past mother had done for her and me. This was in her attic for 50 or so years. My parents and she thought it was crazy that I would know about something like this.
Anne, too, became a believer. And there were other, more chilling connections. James had 3 G.I. Joes he named Billy, Walter, and Leon.
Follow.
Names his parents thought were strange for a boy to choose.
Very key.
Bruce is like, hey, James, what are you going to name your G.I. Joe? He just plain goes, Walter. So we were like, Walter? Bruce goes, how come you named your G.I. Joes Billy, Walter, and Leon? And he goes, because that's who met me when I got to heaven. And it was one of the moments where, like, the blood drained down our face, and we just kind of walked backwards. Bruce went in the office, I went in the office, we closed the door. He's in there going through papers like this. I'm like, what are you looking for? What are you looking for? He finds this piece of paper, and he's like, and he says, Billy Peeler, Walter Devlin, and Leon Connor were all in the same squadron as James Houston. I was like, when did they die? Did they die before? He's throwing papers around, pulls out another sheet. He looked at the dates of death, and they all died before James Houston died.
They all flew with him.
Although James's dad remained skeptical that reincarnation might really be possible, what happened next was uncanny.
So we're cleaning up the yard, he's playing in the leaves. I said, I just love you to bits. And he goes, well, he said, I knew you'd be a good daddy when I picked you.
No, this aspect of it is taking it to another level. You know, to be honest, I didn't even have the intention of stopping this for any sort of commentary until I was ready to comment. But I think I have to highlight this moment, this aspect of it, because many ones, yeah, they check for reincarnation, but there's another science, the science of, you know, when you get disrespectful to your parents and say, listen, man, I didn't ask you to bring me here, you know. Oh, yes, you did. Oh, yes, you did.
I said, what? He said, well, when I found you and Mommy, I knew you would be good parents. My head was shrinking to the size of a raisin, my brain. I said, what do you mean when you found us? He said, well, I found you and Mommy in Hawaii.
James told his father that he saw them in a pink hotel, which is where the Leiningers were staying when they decided to have James. Bruce and Andrea were cautious about asking doctors and psychiatrists for help. They decided to find their own solution to James's ordeal. And their solution was to go to Japan, to the very expansive ocean where the pilot, James Houston Jr., died.
Now we want the pilot of the Soul.
The boat was right above where the wreckage of the plane was, and Bruce did this beautiful memorial service, and so I thought that was a perfect moment for me to just say, I sat down with him and I said, Jim Houston's been a part of your life for as long as we can remember, and he's always going to be an important part of who you are, but you have a life to live, this James Leininger, and it's time for you to say goodbye to Jim Houston. And he just started bawling. And he cried.
And they say now that specifically that she's saying he cried and cried and cried, but afterwards it was as if something lifted off of him.
For about 20 minutes.
He had everything.
It was the saddest thing I ever seen. Crying.
And all it's sad thing. And from his account, that is young James there, his account is that from after that point, I mean, it's not as if he doesn't, disbelieve it, or it's not as if he disbelieves it, I should say. But as his mother was saying, that, yeah, okay. And they believe too that you are one with James the pilot. But you gotta live your own life. So now is the time to say goodbye. So they brought him to the Sea of Japan, where the pilot James in World War II or whatever it was there, where he died, where he crashed, and they threw over some flowers. And they said from that moment, because he cried for about 20 minutes, from that moment you could see the difference. Again, it's not that he is disbelieving. In fact, he continues to hold fast to the fact that he knows who he is or who he was in another life. But of course, now it's time to concentrate on his life and moving forward. As far as that, I don't live with them. I don't counsel them. I don't really know about them outside of this documentary. But how often do you find someone that could clearly tell you who they are in a past life? I mean, yeah, he was taken up with it. But to me, this is me personally, that is something for you to harness, not necessarily to separate from. I don't know, that's their business. If that's what they do, that is what they do. Do you know that the vibe that he was carrying, everybody has it? But you see, vaccines when you're born, the artificial milk in the bottle and the box that they give the baby, so-called Similac, even down to the Pampers they give you to wear, the television that they put you in front of, not just what's showing on the television, but just the frequency coming off of the television, the Wi-Fi, the internet, the computer screen. You bombard a little child with that by the age of 2, for sure. Even before they go to preschool, they have already lost a certain level of connection. Just the first shot alone. Just the first shot, because as soon as the baby is born, it shots in them. Pow, pow, pow. Just the first shot will do so much to disconnect you from who you really are. You don't think they know that? Yeah, I know everybody's nice because, Andrew, what's his name? President Johnson signed the Civil Rights Bill, so everything is nice right now. Yeah, don't you see we had a black president? That's how people talk, eh? Everything is okay now. This is just a nice, hunky-dory world, Everybody's happy. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Disgusting. As soon as you're born, they're gunning you down so you do not remember who you are. You cannot connect yourself with yourself. They know that. We are all supposed to be able to make a connection like that. And again, no disrespect to what they just brought forward, but that's soft, man. If you take the time and look at your own self, you could get more evidence on yourself. But one thing I would admit, this is what you got to teach yourself and even those that you are responsible for. It's not about separating yourself from who you are even in another time. But when you hear me say, man, I know who I am. I know who I am. Even in so-called past lives, I know who I am. And they say, who are you? I'm Priest Isaac. Yeah. You don't. I'm getting better as we go, eh? What I'm trying to show you is that this is who you are now. This is the physical body that you're using now, the goodie. But the soul is the same. What you're separating yourself from yourself, what are you talking about? Is one soul going through the eons, passing through, the mechanism of the material world, 3-dimensional, crystallization. That's what we're dealing with, spirit in flesh. So obviously there will be signs, and they should not be signs. You know what a sign is? Just a little hint. And wow, that's a sign. No, man, we don't want signs. We have billboards, eh? We're the one that turned the billboards into signs. Billboards, it's written all in the sky for us. It's there. It's there. It's just like when you do an exam to go to a school and they say, all the students that did the exam report to the ministry tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And when you go there, they have a list of names on the wall and you just go and look for your name. Oh, yes, I passed. I got a B+. I'm going to this school. I'm going to that school. Whatever the case, it's there. It's there. All the information is right in front of you. Not no little sign. The info. We're in the land of On. This is Anu, where I am, On. Not where I am on, On, capital O-N. That's Anu in the biblical sense. I think you know that. You comprehend. This is Priest Isaac speaking to you. You think it's by chance this is the land of the priests? And we can go into all sorts of things, dates and time, but this is, the information that is just there itching to come out is really for the family. In fact, let me just show you something here. Some of you who are listening to me, you know all of my government names. Ain't nothing really, no big deal to, like if you don't want nobody know your name and when you're born or where you live. I'm not into none of that. There ain't nothing about me that I hide. Nothing at all. But what I'm saying is that doesn't mean I'm just gonna jump up and just blah, 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 blah. Oh, you know, my father's name is this, his middle name is this, he was born this, and this is where this is. No, it's sometimes the energy is not there to tell the world these things. There's so many disrespectful people that listen to you. And to be honest, and this is from my heart, sometimes when these disrespectful people come back and disrespect you, those people that you believe should attack them, they don't say nothing. They just sit on the wall and watch. So that's why I personally even reserve some of the things I say. I even reserve my children from the front line. People does be disrespecting my own children. And I don't see some of you. Straight up, don't feel no way. This is your brother. Hugs and kisses. I don't see some of you even get up. I mean, you can't. I mean, come on. Well, it's not your business, eh? It's my business. So that is why I take action. If you have a teacher, brother, there could be nobody that I consider my teacher, and anybody disrespect them and tell them anything out the way, and I don't jump on them and tear them to pieces. Straight up. That's how I judge people, eh? I'm telling you straight. So that's why I reserve certain things. But let me say, some of you know my government names. I have 4 government names. In fact, Isaac is my literal surname. And the reason you know the names is because some of us, we do business transaction. You don't know, bank account. Information gets out. So you get it from me and I get it from you. You know me, I know you, straight up. So if you observe my names properly, now those names, you know, my sister actually gave me my 3 names, my sister. And when I sit down with her and show her the mystics, it's like, wow. She never, I mean, like, wow. Yeah, because the first letters of each one of my names, including my surname, actually spells my first name. Check it. I bet you never check it. All right. And in my first name, you could see the word on. In my second name, you could see the word on. In my third name, you could see the word on. And even when you connect my surname and the last letters of the third name, you see the goddess Isis. And then you could also see, we talk about the city of Noe, the same Thebes. It's right there too. Remember, we're talking about what? The land of the priests, the Anu. So when you take a little simple thing, remember it's names they were dealing with here. James and James III. And honestly, that's ground level. I know they were talking about pilots, but that's ground level. When it comes to, wow, my name and this name and letters, believe me, that's as simple as it gets. It can get deep. Colors. What about parents' name, parents' birthday? You know what I mean? Even schools you're attending, different little things. You'll be surprised how the Most High, the silent, soft voice speaks to you. Hey, listen, they have a scripture, right? When they say Elijah, I think he was in a cave. And like an earthquake passed through, big rumbling. But God was not in the earthquake. I think they said a heavy storm and wind and hail and whirlwind passed through. And they say, no, God wasn't in the whirlwind. And then a soft, still voice came through. And they say, yeah, that was the Almighty I. And Elijah covered his face and went out and communed with the ever-living I. Now, you know, check the mystic. It didn't come in no big fanfare, no big bacchanal, no drum roll, just a little soft sensation. That's what they say when they see the emperor, man. Wait, I got little man. That's what they say. They literally say that. Wait, you mean you tell me that little? Yeah, because they expect, you know what I mean? Like, wow, what is big and what is little? Big and little is, for no offense, but for people that don't understand the science of the cosmos, them is relative things there. What is big? Huh? Look at that big ants inside the little plane. what is big and what is little. It's relative. So the science now is that it's the soft voice that came to speak. And if you take your time and listen to the soft voice, that's where it is hidden in a man. In the soft voice. That's why meditation is important. That's why cleansing yourself is important. And listen. You don't have to meditate. You don't have to cleanse yourself. You don't even have to eat properly to pick up the quote unquote signs. But if you can pick up the signs and you're not doing nothing to better your spiritual sense, you could only imagine what will happen when you start to cleanse yourself, detoxify yourself, get the gunk out, start to eat properly. Oh, your green juice daily is a must. Your sea moss is a must. Get it? Must is a must. Okay? Meditation, deep breathing with your back straight, early morning rising, you know what I mean? And then, getting into the rituals of science. You're humming. These things open the soul, brother, sister, And that is why I trod the order of Melchizedek. Long story and try to figure it all out. The man come with the package. Give thanks for the upcoming Lenten period. The man come with the package. So if you're obedient enough when taking the package, interestingly, you would definitely become closer to the cosmic God that is within inside of you. You know what I mean? Straight up. You would know which star belongs to you. You would know who you are even in the Bible. You would know which one of them Kemetic netter is connected with you. Not just star. You would know which constellation belongs to you. I mean, this is the reality we're dealing with. Some people say they don't believe in reincarnation. You obviously believe in incarnation because you're here. It's nothing hard. It's not spooky. We make it sound spooky. What's the difference with incarnation and reincarnation? You are here with us. You've incarnated. Okay. Reincarnation means you've incarnated before and you come and you incarnate again. Wow. You only have one life to live. Now, you see, the problem here is now people always tell you that you have a soul. And because you think you have a soul, you can't see how this happened. What are you talking about, priest? You don't have a soul? I ain't got no soul. No, I ain't got no soul. I am a soul. Yeah, check it. I have a physical anatomy called a body. I am a soul. That's what I am. I'm not this. I mean, I'm this at this moment. I ain't denying this at all. I love this. I tell you, I take care of this to the fullest. But for sure, I didn't always have it. I mean, I always connected with the elements that make it up, because it's earth, it's wind, fire, and water that has crystallized, that has brought this anatomy here that is talking to you. But I mean, this is just the car that I'm driving for the moment. The soul is me. I've been here from whence, man? Come on. So the soul is me. I ain't got no soul. I'm no spirit in them things. I'm the spirit. I got one of them body here. So if you feel you are a body that have a soul, well, that's up to you. And that is why you cannot see reincarnation, because you feel the body done and it's done. I feel I have to talk like that because I'm surprised that those of us who say that we are Christians and we don't check for reincarnation. What do you mean? And it clearly said, I shall send back the prophet Elijah. And they themselves said, okay, Mr. Big Stuff, if you are really the man that you say you are. The scripture said that Elijah shall return, and you know what I mean, he shall do this and that before the great and dreadful day of the Lord. So if you're the great dreadful Lord, how is it Elijah did not come? To answer that one for us. Hear this now. You can't get out of this. Answer that one. And he said, man, Elijah has already come and gone. I said, what? Yeah, man, John the Baptist. I meant to do that. John the Baptist. That's what the scripture said. It didn't say Marcus Garvey in the Bible, but I mean, you don't know. John the Baptist has come and gone. That was the Elijah that was to come. Yeah. Now you may say, that's not necessarily reincarnation. So what is it? It's just that, John the Baptist came with the spirit of Elijah. You're digging a hole, brother. Take your time. You want to start over? It's all right, we can scrap that last statement that you made and start again. I mean, there's no way around it. That's my point. There's no way around it. We are eternal beings. Aki Bikama. Where are they now? Who are they now? And to give the full respect, midnight, okay, it's not Brother Van alone working there. Give thanks, Ronnie. Where are they now? Andromeda, Circes, and all the names he called them is constellation, yet still these are said to be mythological Ethiopian characters, obviously taken from some literal historical individuals. Where are they now? And who are they now? I shall rise up Christ again. All this is reincarnation talk. And David shall come again. Reincarnation, come again. The spirit remains. Now listen, me personally, I'm not acting as if I could give you all the explanation, like when a person die, the spirit go here, and it take this long, or he come back in somebody else right away, or this or that. Honestly, you know what I mean? I ain't got the degree in spiritual physiology. I just don't got it. Whichever university you get that from, the people thrive on these little circles they call degrees and letters and all of that. I ain't got them degrees there. But what I know, again, is who I am. You check it? That's what I know. Clearly. Not the little thing I just did for you and the on and the on. I tell you already now, that is, them is surface. That's not even the surface, man. That's just, you know what I mean? I don't even know what to call that. When we really take time, we could write books on it. So this is why knowledge is so important. This is why knowledge is key. This is why you have to fill your mind with intelligent information. That's why enough people, when they get the good ganja, they go, mad and they don't know what to do and they spin around. No, I know what they're talking. I don't mean no.